Good morning everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing really well and having a lovely weekend so far, especially if you're watching this on Sunday. I know my videos have now become a part of your Sunday ritual, which I absolutely adore, so thank you so much for watching. I have just started my day by taking Fenton for a walk through the fields where we live. I've then come back, had some breakfast, made myself a coffee, and I've decided to start speaking to you because I always forget to film an intro for these videos. So hello. I mentioned last week that my mother is coming down for a long weekend. We're on Friday today. She's going to stay till Monday, I believe. So we've got quite a few things planned. We thought we'd take her to the spa, treat her a little bit. So we're going to do that probably tomorrow. But before we head on out today, because she's due here in a couple of minutes, I thought I'd just quickly jump in to say what we're going to do today. We're actually going to head on over to Islington because we want to show my mum and my sister where we're considering buying in the near future. Obviously, we're not quiet about the fact that we'd like to move house within the next couple of years. So I think we mentioned a few weeks ago, but Chad and I really love to nail down street names just so when they come on the market, we know where to sort of focus our efforts on, and Islington is a very big area. So I believe that's what we're going to do this morning. And then for the rest of this video, I'm really in the mood to continue the autumn homemaking sort of series that's going on. Last week we made the wreath out on the front door, which is actually holding up really well, and I've had quite a few compliments from neighbours. But I thought this week we'd make some candles. We bought some candles from one of the antique shops in the Cotswolds, which came in terracotta pots. I burnt through one of those already, so I'm going to reuse that one. I'm going to wash it out and then we'll try and make some candles together, which should be quite fun. But yeah, I need to go and get ready to head on out for the day, and obviously we're going to take you with us to Islington, so let's get going. So we are back from our day out in Islington. My mum and my sister don't want to be on camera, so it's just the regular two of us, I'm afraid, for you guys.
Yes. Apologies in advance. We've had a spillage in aisle 2, and frankly, I can't be bothered to go get changed. So for any of the eagle-eyed people, it's just water.
It's just water. But what was I going to say? We've been out in Islington, but as I mentioned at the start, we have gone to Islington today, and we always yap on about Islington, don't we? I know it's quite annoying for some people, but if you don't know, and if you're new to the channel, Islington is the area of London that we have really fallen in love with, and it's where we will most likely be buying when we decide to move house, whenever we do. So we like to go there to sort of narrow down houses and areas that we potentially were going to buy in the future, basically. So we took my mum and my sister there today just to explore, because neither of them have ever been, I don't think.
It's maybe worth explaining. I think a lot of you aren't from London or even the UK. You're probably like, what is this Islington they keep ranting on about? But essentially, Islington is in North London, and it's in Zone 1. So as soon as you leave central London, it's one of the first boroughs or neighbourhoods that you get into. So it's very, very central, just off King's Cross. And it's quite a big borough, to be fair. It's very large, and the area we're looking at is Angel, and then more specifically Barnsbury Conservation Area. And basically this is a beautiful part of London that is just full of squares and circles of Georgian townhouses with lovely parks and churches in the centre. It's very leafy, stunning large Georgian houses, and you're literally right off central London. Yeah. So that's the area we've sort of horned in on. We also do want to live in one of the squares of the circles, so we've narrowed down about 5 or 6 that we really like, and now we're essentially playing the waiting game, which is waiting for the right property to come up for sale. Even though there are lots of houses there, it is a very hot area that people want to live in, especially families, and which means not many people sell. No. I think at the minute there's literally 2 or 3 for sale.
It's crazy, it's honestly crazy.
So we are going to bide our time and wait for the right property to come. But I think what's most relieving is that we've now nailed the area, which is the most important thing. So we've really got that area boarded off, and now it's a waiting game. One more thing I'd say about Islington is it is the largest collection of Georgian townhouses in London. I don't believe there's another area that has more. And whilst it is majority quite a well-to-do, affluent part of London, it's kept its sort of vibe, and it's got a bit of life to it. You know, it does border East London, which is the kind of more artsy part of London. And sometimes when you go to some of these sort of wealthy family areas, it's just dead. There's no culture, there's nothing fun goes on. It's just a bit sleepy and boring. Yeah. Islington sort of retains that culture when you look at the restaurants, when you look at what goes on in the area, even the people that live there.
Yeah, it doesn't come across as pretentious. No. I think some areas of London, when there's an influx of sort of new money, the area can feel a bit sort of, I don't know, the vibe just doesn't feel right. But in Islington, it just feels really, really sort of traditional London. Like if you can picture Oliver, the musical production, like the film, or like Mary Poppins, to me, that's what it feels like. It's very, very traditional, sort of like chimney sweep London. Yeah, would you say that? I would say that.
I think what will be good is we're going to keep going back to Islington. We're going to keep looking at certain squares and houses. We'll hopefully get some viewings soon. And we'll take you along with us, so you can kind of see for yourself and get a better idea of why we love this area, why people want to live there, the kind of houses we're looking at, and hopefully the one we find. But truth be told, I don't think we'll be seriously looking at buying until next year. Yeah, it won't be this year.
We did a few viewings. I think we recorded them all for YouTube, didn't we?
Yeah, earlier in the year.
Earlier this year or last year. Yeah. But honestly, since then, we keep our eye on the market all the time, even around our area. And there just aren't any houses being put up on the market. There is that website, what's it called, Ostrich?
Oh yeah, where houses may be coming up.
Yeah, basically people list their houses and it could be like 12 months before they sell, or it's a really odd website, and there are a few on there. But again, they're not perfect for us. I was touching on with Chad earlier, saying we both obviously want the same thing from a Georgian townhouse. We want the sort of stucco bottom. We want it to be over sort of 5 levels, 4 or 5 levels. 4 or 5 levels. So like the basement level with the kitchen inside, the stucco front, the sort of blackened yellow brick with the 2 sort of Georgian sash windows sort of going up. But I always say to Chad, if possible, I would love to find something a little bit quirkier. So something maybe with like a roof. I don't want for much, do I? Something with like a roof terrace or like a little balcony, because the views from said balcony or the roof terrace would be incredible.
Yeah.
You literally have views over central London, which would be...
To be fair, a lot of people do that in Islington because it is so central, either above their kitchens or their bathrooms on the second or third floor. It depends how they do it.
Yeah.
You can put a little seating area on the roof or close to the roof, and then they do have panoramic views of, you know, the Shard and Liverpool Street or whatever. But you really have to be facing the right way.
Yeah.
So again, then you're sat there going, okay, I want a south-facing garden. I also want to have views.
Yeah.
There comes a point where we know that the perfect home doesn't exist in London. You're going to have to make sacrifices. But as long as the fundamentals are there, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And for anyone thinking that we're sort of wishing our lives away, we're not. Obviously, this is our first home, and we always get quite a few comments saying, just enjoy the house you're living in. You've made a beautiful home. We very much do enjoy our home, but just think of it from the perspective, this is our first home. Maybe it comes across as we're trying to wish our lives away, but we're not. We're just preparing for the future.
I think as well, like, we've always lived, both of us have always lived in East London. I've never left East. I worked in Canary Wharf for many years, so it made sense to be East. And you moved to Walthamstow when you first
moved here,
came here. So I think we're kind of very keen to then go and live in another part of London and experience it. But it's also just, we'll be very lucky to be able to go to our dream home next. I think a lot of the times you have to have several sort of homes along the way and you get there. We kind of want to go from first home to forever home. And I think if you haven't seen why already by the videos we've shown you of the houses and the streets, we'll do a better job of trying to make you understand that as we go on. But yeah, I just thought it was good clearing people up as to why we're going there. We always just say Islington, and a lot of you are like, what are they going on about? So hopefully you have a bit more context now, and you understand the kind of home we'll go into next. And look, when we do go into it, it will be a full reno. You know, we'll be going, probably most likely going back to brick, redoing front doors, windows, cleaning up bricks. So in terms of content for you guys, it will be
endless, pretty much.
And really good, because we didn't actually document this house when we were renovating it. Ash wasn't a YouTuber back then. He was working. We did a little bit of filming. It wasn't until halfway through the reno that we thought, or, you know, I said to Ash, why don't you start recording this and putting it out? So I feel like you guys missed out so much on the beginning of the renovation, like buying this house and what we had planned and the mistakes we made and the hell we lived in.
I was going to say, we don't even talk about the hell that we lived in. I think we might have mentioned it, but we literally had no appliances, no hot water, no boiler. In the middle of winter, no like working windows. They were all sort of single paned.
Do you know how we did
windows.
It? Every morning we would have to boil 10 kettles of water, pour it into a bathtub, and then use a cup to put the water over ourselves because we had no working boiler and the bathroom was being renovated. Like, that's how bad it was. The guest bedroom just had a table set up with like plug-in hobs and microwaves where we were doing our food. It was grim.
Fun fact, we cooked our Christmas meal because one of us, was it me that got COVID? Because
Ash got COVID.
When I went into London, I got COVID and we had to cook, was it a fry-up we had? I can't believe I'm admitting this, but for one Christmas, we had a fry-up cooked on like a plug-in stove.
A fry-up is like a full English breakfast, or like bacon, eggs. Or there was no like turkey and trimmings and veg.
But you guys missed all that content, so get ready for round 2 because we, you know, I actually don't think, just to touch on this, I don't think we'll be doing that again. Chad doesn't want to live in a reno. I think it'd be quite fun, but I think maybe we try and find somewhere to rent whilst we're renoing.
Yeah, I was just being a bit greedy because we easily could have just rented somewhere for 3 months and then had it done. But my logic was, well, no, if we move in, we'll save money on rent and we'll be able to put more money into the renovation. And that was true, but I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I think what made it worse is it was winter. Yeah. It was cold, it was wet, it was grey every day, and I think the depression just got to me.
But also, just to touch on it as well, sorry, I know I keep saying this, but our floorboards were all exposed. We had no, like, most of the plaster, had been chopped off, so we had no, like, real insulation.
We had rats.
All of the floorboards were open, so we could see, like, the mud below the floorboards. Again, we had no boiler. Literally, it was rough. We had no kitchen as well. It was all ripped out.
I remember one day I was feeding Dougal and I was putting dried biscuits in his bowl, and one of them like fell on the floor next to like an exposed bit of wood, and there was just a little rat hand scratching to get the biscuit and drag it under. And that's when I realised, okay, we need to speed this up.
Yeah. It was the most disgusting thing.
So it's sad you didn't see that. I think we were also very different people back then.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to look at kind of how we've changed.
For the better or for the worse?
Better, I hope.
But yeah, that was our little sort of rant about possibly planning to move.
I think now you understand Islington. Hopefully there's a really good content series to follow where we can take you along more, show you some houses and hopefully find that dream house. But again, not misleading anyone. It's not going to happen overnight. It will be realistically next year. But for anyone who is in the sort of process of buying homes, especially your forever home, you'll know that it's not something you do in a month. It's something you take a lot of time and really plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of fun to come. Stay tuned. If you're not subscribed as well, click that subscribe button. I actually did a check on my analytics earlier, and apparently 52.3% of you, I'm not making that up, I'll show you in a second, who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed.
Savages.
So just take right now to click that little subscribe button. It really does help us out.
I should say as well, Ash has set himself a goal of 100,000 followers by the end of the year. The reason being, once you hit 100,000, YouTube sends you the silver
plaque, yeah.
The silver plaque, and I think you're at nearly 60,000.
Currently, as I'm recording this, 56,966. So we have a fair bit to do in the remaining 4 months of the year.
Send a link to your grandmother, your brother, your uncle.
But yeah, every click of that button does very much help us. So thank you guys in advance.
I would also like to say, because we never touched on this, but can anyone explain to me why your face looks bigger on camera than it does in person? So I've come to realise, me and Ash were doing this the other day, where Ash was like, you look nothing like you do on camera, because for some reason my face just becomes very round like a football. We even met a follower the other week, Jane.
At Summer Antiques Market, yeah.
Yes, Jane, hello. And even she said, oh, you're skinny.
The first thing she said, yeah.
All right. But I've realised it now. I've looked back on videos and for some reason the camera just expands my face out and rounds it.
It's really bizarre. I don't think it does anything to mine.
No, you look the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not doing me any flattering justice. So if anyone has any tips, if anyone's in the industry, I'd love to know how I stop looking 20 pounds bigger than I am.
But yeah, thanks Jane for the compliment. You love that.
Made my day. I now get it. People always say, when I was younger, my mum used to always say to me, always give an older lady a compliment. They love it. And it's true. And now that I'm
an old man,
and someone's like, oh, you smell nice. I'm like, I know I do.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to our TED Talk. We are going to sign off for the rest of the day. Actually, I might try and make some candles with you. I said I was going to make some candles at the start of this video. I've got lots of old terracotta pots, plant pots. These ones are quite muddy, so I need to brush all these out. But I thought it'd be fun to make some candles. I've got some essential oils. I've ordered a little candle making kit. But especially as it's autumn, I think it's nice to have candles everywhere.
Everywhere. And I think it's nice for people to save money. The price of candles now. Candles are so cheap. Some essential oils, some wax, boil it, stick it in a stew. Right? For some reason, candles are now 50, 60 pounds.
Plus as well, if you get a big candle.
And Ash is going to show you how you can do it for an average about what? 10, 15 pounds?
Yeah, to give you some context, the other day I ordered this huge sack of beeswax. I'm not sure if this is specifically for candle making, but it smells absolutely incredible. So I thought we'd make some candles from this, but this cost 20 something pounds.
Well, I'd say you'd get what, 6 candles?
You'd get a fair few candles out of that. So yeah,
big difference.
It's a big difference in cost. So we're going to try and teach you guys how to make some candles. I'm not an expert, but it's quite fun.
No, it's good. And it's also the good time of year is, in addition to putting your essential oils in your candles, you have loads of flowers in your garden that are about to start crusting and going away, whether it's verbena, whether it's roses. So now in terms of decorating it beyond oils, now's a great time to just go snip it off and sprinkle it in your candles, add it in as well. So
indeed,
try and make the use of everything.
Let's get on with candle making because we're just waffling on.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye-bye. So as I mentioned, we're going to try and make some candles. If you watched the Cotswolds video a few weeks ago, you would have seen that we picked up some candles, 2 candles like this that came in terracotta pots. So we're going to try and replicate this today. I have an empty one that I've just literally cleaned out a second ago that we're going to pop. I think we're going to try and make this a 3-wick candle in here. And then I also do have lots of teeny tiny little terracotta pots. I don't know how much wax I have, so we're going to try and make as many candles as possible. I was going to try and make a tomato vine leaf candle, but the essential oil hasn't come in the post yet. So what I'm going to do, I think, is make a lavender candle, and then I'm also going to try and make a rose candle. I did order a candle making kit from Amazon. I will leave it linked below. It was literally this kit. It just comes with lots of wax. I'm not sure how much wax I'll need, but it comes with some wax, the wicks for the candles, and then also like all the little bits you need to make candles basically. If you've ever done this before, the first thing you need to do is just melt the wax. The kit normally comes with this little pot that you basically just pop the wax into, and then you hold it over boiling water, and it will just melt the wax. You add your essential oils in once it's cooled down a little bit, and then you basically just add in anything else that you want to add in. I think we're going to try and add in some dried lavender flower heads just on the top to make it look a bit nicer. Obviously you don't want to add too much of this because this can catch fire and combust, so you want to go sparingly with this. But I think we'll do some lavender ones, and then I think I'm going to go out into the garden, grab some rose petals, and then create a rose scented candle. I'm not the biggest fan of rose scents. I think they can smell a bit, how do I say this without offending? A bit grandma. Not that I don't like grandma, but I think rose by itself can just be a bit too floral. So we might go sparingly with this, but then I'll pop in some rose petals on the top, and hopefully it will look lovely. So we're gonna get to making some candles now, but the first step, as I just said, is to melt the wax. So I'm just gonna grab a pot, fill it with some water, and then start melting. The next few days were spent pottering about with little jobs at home, deadheading the last of the summer flowers and fixing wire supports to the climbing roses at the back of the house in preparation for autumn. But just as I began to settle into the new season, the call of Christmas drew me into London for the John Lewis Christmas preview. Right, hello everyone. Fenton and I have just got back from the John Lewis event at Oxford Street. As you can see from the videos, I decided to take Fenton with me. And I will say, you've been very well behaved. I think, Fenton, you've got sleep in your eye. I think this one's quite tired now because we couldn't really get 1 metre or 2 metres without someone stopping him. So he's going to have a quick nap, I think. Do you want to say hello to everyone, Fenton? Fenton? Oh. Do you want to say hello to everyone? Who's this? Good boy. He's very tired. I don't even know if I've mentioned what I did today, but this morning I went to the John Lewis Christmas preview and it was incredible. It's very much put me in the mood for Christmas. I know it's only just turned into autumn, but I'm very much an autumn winter person, and obviously brands have to get ahead a few months so everyone can be prepared for Christmas. So it was really lovely to go and see John Lewis's new Christmas collection. There are lots of little bits that I will be getting for Christmas this year. I saw on the invite that John Lewis stores are dog friendly, so I decided to take Fenton with me, which was really, really fun. He actually got to meet my friend Rianne's Cocker Spaniel puppy. She's 2 weeks younger than Fenton, so it was really lovely to see those two interact. And it was really, really sweet. I've probably popped in all the videos that we have of them. They were sort of like touching noses and being really playful with each other. So that was really lovely to take them both with us. After the John Lewis Christmas preview, we basically just went for coffee. And then I've come back home and I'm absolutely exhausted. Who knew that taking a dog into London would be so tiring? But when I say that every other person was stopping me to say hi to Fenton, I would not be exaggerating. So I'm going to put him down for a nap. I'm probably going to sign this video off here and get to editing this one for this Sunday. Again, this is your chance now to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next Sunday for another video. Have a lovely weekend.